Meghan, who screamed, "Don't leave me, don't leave me," and Harry, who actually has leaned.
This morning, Prince Harry is in Angola, retracing the footsteps of his mother from nearly 30 years ago. He's there solo without his wife, Meghan.
I mean, Meghan is someone with a game plan, isn't she?
Yes.
And nothing happens by accident.
He's working with the Halo Trust, an organization that works to clear landmines, and it's the exact same organization that his mother, Princess Diana, worked with.
Harry has no filter, which is always the great thing about him and the terrible thing about him.
Dirty Prince Harry is cashing in on his royal peace talks leak to cheapen Princess Diana's memory.
I think that Buckingham Palace should be a little bit nervous about what you say, as it doesn't have a game plan.
With a third Angola copycat landmine stunt.
Everyone loves a conspiracy, particularly when it's involving Harry, Meghan and the royal family.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall.
To Prince Harry on a mission to raise awareness about the deadly danger of landmines around the world, following in the path of his mother, Princess Diana.
Prince Harry's surprise trip to Angola caught everyone off guard, not just because of the sudden nature of the visit, but because he showed up completely alone. There was no royal announcement, no press build-up, and most noticeably, no Meghan Markle by his side. The Duke of Sussex quietly arrived in Huambo, Angola on July 15th, aligning himself once again with the Halo Trust, a humanitarian organization closely tied to his late mother, Princess Diana. The location and timing of the visit raised immediate questions among both royal watchers and the public. Why now? Why solo? And why the secrecy? The fact that this journey wasn't publicized in advance suggests it was a deliberate move, meant to keep media attention low while Harry focused on the mission at hand. His presence in Angola wasn't just symbolic, it was deeply personal. By appearing alone, he drew all the focus onto the cause itself, rather than his often scrutinized marriage or his strained relationship with the royal family. But as soon as photos surfaced of Harry walking the cleared minefields, the public couldn't ignore one glaring omission: Meghan's absence. And what made this solo trip even more intriguing was what it hinted at beneath the surface. Because this visit wasn't just about landmines. It opened the door to larger conversations about safety, loyalty, and even potential steps toward reconciling with his royal roots. Meghan Markle's absence from Prince Harry's Angola trip wasn't just surprising, it immediately sparked speculation. But according to insiders close to the couple, her decision to stay behind was rooted in genuine concern for safety, not drama. Angola remains a region with areas still threatened by landmines, and although Harry walked a cleared section during his visit, the danger hasn't been completely erased. A source speaking to the Daily Mail confirmed that Harry simply wouldn't risk putting Meghan in harm's way, especially considering her high-profile status and the growing concerns about their family's protection. This cautious approach aligns with Harry's recent comments in a BBC interview back in May, where he expressed deep frustration about the removal of their UK police protection. Since stepping back from royal duties in 2020, Harry has been vocal about the increased risks his family faces without official security, especially when traveling abroad. The couple even fought a legal battle over the issue, and lost. So when it came time for this humanitarian mission, Harry reportedly made the call to go alone. It wasn't a sign of marital distance, but rather a calculated move to prioritize safety. Meghan, who has faced relentless scrutiny and threats in the past, likely agreed that staying behind was the most sensible decision. Yet, her absence didn't stop the speculation. Social media quickly filled with rumors, ranging from tabloid talk of relationship tension to wild conspiracy theories. But in reality, the decision painted a clearer picture of the couple's current mindset: protect the family first, no matter what. And that protective instinct may be the very thing pulling Harry closer to his mother's legacy, because Diana, too, always put her children above public expectations. For Prince Harry, this trip to Angola wasn't just another public appearance, it was a pilgrimage into the past, directly tied to the memory of his late mother, Princess Diana. The emotional weight of retracing her steps in Huambo cannot be overstated. In 1997, Diana made international headlines when she famously walked through a live minefield wearing protective gear, shining a global spotlight on the deadly impact of landmines in war-torn regions. That powerful moment, captured in now iconic photos, helped shift public opinion and push forward a global treaty to ban landmines. Just months later, Diana tragically passed away, making that visit one of her final and most lasting acts of humanitarian advocacy. For Harry, following in her footsteps is not just symbolic. It's deeply personal. This journey represents a continuation of her mission, a way of keeping her legacy alive, not through royal tradition, but through meaningful action. Walking the same land his mother once did, Harry wasn't just honoring history, he was channeling it. And unlike previous visits tied to royal protocol, this one felt more raw, more sincere, and more intimate. There were no formalities, no pomp, just Harry, a pair of boots, and the same cause his mother gave her voice to nearly 3 decades ago. In many ways, it was a quiet act of defiance, not just against the threats posed by landmines, but against the expectation that Harry must leave the past behind. Instead, he's embraced it, leaning into the very legacy that first taught him the power of compassion over titles. And in doing so, he reminded the world that Diana's influence didn't end with her death. It lives on in the choices her son continues to make. Prince Harry didn't just show up in Angola for a photo opportunity, he immersed himself in the reality of the landmine crisis with the kind of hands-on involvement that goes far beyond ceremonial gestures. Upon arrival, he walked through a former minefield that had recently been cleared, experiencing firsthand the tension and reverence such terrain still carries. He observed live detonation exercises carried out by demining experts, bearing witness to the dangerous, meticulous work involved in making the land safe again for civilians. His engagement wasn't limited to the field. He also made an emotional visit to the Huambo Orthopedic Center, the same facility Princess Diana toured in 1997, where he met survivors whose lives had been changed forever by hidden explosives. Many of these individuals, like the children Diana once held or the amputees she comforted, still bear the physical and emotional scars of Angola's violent past. Harry's visit served as a powerful reminder that while the land might now be safer, the long-term consequences of war persist for generations. But beyond raising awareness, Harry used his platform to deliver a message to the Angolan government. More needs to be done. He encouraged increased funding and political support for mine clearance operations, emphasizing that the job isn't finished just because cameras are no longer rolling. His presence brought renewed visibility to the Halo Trust's ongoing mission, showing that celebrity attention isn't always fleeting. It can be a sustained commitment. And in staying true to that commitment, Harry is transforming what could have been a nostalgic tribute into tangible, real-world impact. Through each step, handshake, and conversation, he's proving that continuing Diana's mission isn't about clinging to the past. It's about using the past to change the present. Prince Harry's connection to Angola isn't a one-time gesture. It's part of a deeply rooted pattern that spanned years, reinforcing just how seriously he takes his mother's legacy. Back in 2019, during a royal tour of southern Africa, Harry visited the same town of Huambo, walking through a street that was once an active minefield. That powerful moment was deliberately designed to mirror Princess Diana's 1997 walk, but it wasn't just for optics. During that trip, Harry spoke emotionally about how his mother's work shaped his understanding of duty and humanity, making it clear that this wasn't about PR, it was about purpose. Fast forward to September 2024, and Harry was once again making headlines, this time in New York City, where he addressed world leaders and donors at a Halo Trust event. In his speech, he didn't just reflect on Diana's past efforts, he emphasized how the fight to eliminate landmines is far from over. He called on the international community to recommit to funding and supporting clearance missions, especially in underfunded regions like Angola. Carrying on her legacy is a responsibility I take incredibly seriously, he told the crowd, with a tone that suggested this was far more than a royal talking point. It was a personal vow. And that consistency, from Africa to the US, paints a picture of a man determined to be more than just a prince with a cause. Whether on the ground in a former war zone or speaking on a global stage, Harry has positioned himself as a long-term advocate, not a seasonal celebrity. His actions reflect a unique brand of leadership, one that bridges emotional resonance with strategic impact. Through each visit, speech, and campaign, he isn't just keeping Diana's memory alive. He's building a legacy of his own, brick by brick, step by step, in the very places where her footsteps once echoed. While Prince Harry's visit to Angola drew attention for its humanitarian significance, it also quietly signaled a shift that many royal watchers didn't see coming, a possible thaw in the icy relationship between Harry and the rest of the royal family. Just days before Harry boarded the flight to Africa, reports surfaced that 2 of his senior aides held a private meeting in London with a representative from King Charles's team. Though the meeting was described as informal, insiders say it was constructive, hinting at a tentative opening for dialogue after years of public distance and private tension. For years, Harry's strained ties with his father and brother have dominated headlines, fueled by his bombshell interviews, the Netflix docuseries, and of course, the explosive revelations in his memoir Spare. But this quiet meeting, absent of press releases or staged photo ops, suggests that behind the scenes, there may be a subtle recalibration happening. What makes the timing even more intriguing is that this outreach occurred right before Harry embarked on a journey so closely tied to his mother's legacy. It's almost as if the past and present are converging, Harry honoring Diana's memory abroad, while tentative steps toward family reconciliation take place back home. The symbolism isn't lost on those following the royal saga. Could Harry's decision to take on Diana's mission so publicly and so purposefully be softening the hearts of those who once saw him as a rebel prince? Or is this simply a matter of strategy, with both sides realizing that continued division benefits no one? Whatever the case, the Angola trip has now become more than just a humanitarian moment. It's a potential turning point, a reminder that while some wounds take years to heal, they don't have to last forever. And with every symbolic step Harry takes, both in the minefields of Africa and possibly toward his royal roots, he may be quietly redrawing the map of what the future looks like for the House of Windsor. Prince Harry's solo journey to Angola wasn't just about honoring his mother, it was a carefully woven statement of purpose, legacy, and quiet transformation. In a single trip, he reignited global attention on a humanitarian crisis, paid emotional tribute to Princess Diana's fearless activism, and subtly hinted at a possible path forward with the very family he's been estranged from. While Meghan's absence raised eyebrows, it ultimately underscored the couple's unwavering priority: safety and strategy over spectacle. Through his actions, not his words, Harry reminded the world that he isn't waiting for palace approval or public validation to do meaningful work. Instead, he's carving out a role that exists between royalty and independence, rooted not in tradition, but in mission. Whether walking a cleared minefield, comforting survivors, or making diplomatic overtures behind the scenes, Harry is steadily proving that legacy doesn't have to mean staying within the system. It can also mean challenging it, reshaping it, and rebuilding bridges on your own terms. As the dust settles on this unannounced trip, one thing is clear. This wasn't just a visit to a war-torn country. It was a deliberate message to the public, to the royal institution, and perhaps most powerfully to himself, that purpose, healing, and hope can all walk hand in hand, even through the most fragile terrain.